Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you just dropped out for a second, but you're back. So you left off saying that, those guys are great, but they could be doing it better. Yeah, I'm not willing to watch my family die so that, 50 other people somewhere else that I'll never meet and never interact with have a better time. Fuck that. I care about my family. I care about myself. I care about my loved ones. I care about people that I can talk to and interact with and work with and make the world a better place. And I believe in meritocracy. If you're a more useful, more functional, more productive person, you're worth more than a counterproductive loser who does harm, period. I don't understand why people have this fantasy that like equality exists, which one, it does not. Two rulers aren't even the same size. You're just bad at measuring. They have different grains in the wood. They have different actual lengths. To know how long a meter really is extremely hard. Even if you take a kilogram weight and lock it away in a vacuum sealed area guarded by walls, it still gains mass every year, and you don't understand why. You're like, well, how does this keep getting slightly heavier? And it's the science question, like how that occurs. Is it gamma rays, or is it, what is it that's making this change? So the fact that people think equality even exists, it's just not true. Even ideas themselves can't be equal because they occur at different times. So you're in a different state when you have two different of the same idea. Like even if you say X equals X, you're different as you process that. So you're a different person as you process the first X and the second X. And even if equality did exist, it's bad. It's the opposite of synergy. So imagine a football team where you have 11 quarterbacks. It would suck because what works is specialization, where two things are different and then they synergize and get more done together. So we have different size cars. We have, sexual dimorphism where different animals have different traits. Girls have, different traits than guys. They're different shaped. Why? Because it's more useful. They can do things guys can't. Girls can breastfeed, guys can't. Girls can pop out kids, guys can't. So like if you believe diversity is strength, then you must stop saying that everyone should be equal. Because what you're effectively saying is that everyone should be weak. Because if diversity is strength and you don't have any diversity, well, then you don't have any strength. You have less strength. But these people, so many like feminists and social justice warriors don't realize they're making the world a worse place, advertising for sameness, when in fact, yes, diversity and meritocracy is actually power, and they're trying to destroy it. It's gross.
Richard, can I tell a quick
Please.
Feminist story? So I went to University of Kentucky, born and raised in Louisville, graduated in 2007. In 2005, as just part of my degree, I remember with my counselor put together this class for me. They didn't put it together for me, but I joined this class called Women, Men, and Society. And I guess I was so green or whatever, young and naive at the time, I didn't even understand what it was till I showed up the first day. And of course, it was a feminist class. It was taught by a gentleman probably in his mid-40s at the time, shaved head, jacked, but walked around super, super feminine.
Huh.
And from the very beginning, that was my real first introduction into the philosophical ideas and history of feminism in that class. It was about 70 people. And from the very beginning, I just said, well, this is really bad branding and marketing. It should be called equalist. That's what they say that they want. The feminist movement say they want equality, but they call themselves feminists, which really, when they brand it that way, it's kind of like, and then when you start listening to the most extreme of them, they don't just want equality. They want
superiority.
Better. Right. And then they feel all the superiority, and then they want kind of like reparations.
Right. But not through earning it, by complaining for it.
Correct.
It's like,
so I'll end the story with this, Richard. This is kind of the punchline in a sense. When I said this to this teacher, he looked at me with this look of bewilderment, and also kind of like a light bulb went off. He'd been studying this stuff for 20 years and nobody had ever like explained it to him in the way that I did. And it was just, I'm not some genius. I'm just saying, like, from the very beginning, I'm like, well, you guys just have bad branding. You should call yourselves equalists, which is, of course, isn't good, as you already explained.
Well, it's better than superiorists, right? Like, it's so, yeah, you can, it is rare that you can change people, but it does happen. So I've through my through the limited work that I've done with my Sci-Vive book, which isn't published, you can just download it for free now, and through the videos I've done, the self-help videos that I did maybe 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago now, I changed lives.
I've watched, by the way, all of them, and they're
Nice.
fantastic. I recommend them.
Thanks, man. Yeah, those videos where I don't even blink because I'm new to the camera, they saved lives. They got people to stop wasting their lives gaming on bad games, stop playing poker, stop doing so many bad things in their lives. And because they didn't go viral, I kind of like gave up on it and didn't keep doing it. But then as the years go by, you get messages from people that you find out that you've touched, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that it was really making a difference. But it really is actually making a difference. Not at the scale I'd like, but if you save or improve 50 people's lives, isn't that pretty good? I mean, how many lives do you need to save until you're like, yeah, that was worth it? I mean, maybe one is enough, right? If you could really make a difference in one person's life, I think you should feel pretty great about that. So
I think it definitely is, Richard, and those videos are great. I watched them all, and I didn't necessarily need that advice personally for most of it, because I kind of already understood those things, which is probably why I'm here talking with you.
Yeah.
But there were a few moments in there I was like, damn, the poker one for me. I already knew poker was a zero-sum game, and I play, I've played some at points in my life. I played in the World Series of Poker in 2018 in the Colossus, not the main event, the Colossus. And I've always done pretty well in poker, but the reason I haven't played more is because I've been busy doing like important shit. And in any event, those are great videos. I highly recommend people check them out. And just kind of focusing on YouTube a little bit more this year on my own channel, I have started to find, I'll shout out Jason. He's the individual who watched both of our channels and put us in touch. I knew who you were, but put the seedling in me actually, doing a collaboration video with you. So thank you, Jason. And, the feedback that Jason and some other folks have given me, man, that's fuel. Cause like nobody's paying me shit for this. I don't turn on ads in my videos, even though I should. I'm doing this shit cause I think it's really important and I want people to understand this. And the feedback, guys, the feedback that you get for positively influencing lives, that is what personally drives me.
Yeah, it helps a lot. It really helps a lot because, particularly with longevity research, no one understands it to the point that they actually hate it. And so if you actually want to help longevity research, you should never mention that you're trying to help longevity research, is what I've discovered. So I think the best path for getting people to do medical research is to advertise it in all the ways that they find acceptable, which is save the kids, let's fight cancer. 40% of people die of cancer, 40% of people die of heart disease. That means you're 80% likely to die of one of those without knowing your family history. So, do you want to save your kids that are going to die of these things? Do you like that happened to everyone in your family tree before you? Well, do you want it to happen to yourself? Okay, so let's work on those things. I think you can get more money and more funding for nearly anything. Dental research would probably get more funding than longevity because people don't understand how it works. They think longevity research is where you take an old person and you keep them old for longer. It's not how it works. How it works is you just don't get old people. People just stay young, but they don't understand that. It's called the Tithonus error. So your option is, do you want to do the hard job and do outreach, explaining to them why longevity is actually cool, and then they get stuck having to have that same conversation with everyone they talk to? I don't want to be old forever. That shit.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It just really is clunky and it really sucks. So what if you could get the same revenue and more funding by just calling it cancer research and heart disease research, because in effect, the stuff that you're doing will cure those things. It's just a different pathway to do it. You're attacking the pathology earlier instead of later. So you're not doing morbidity compression where you'll get all fucked up and then we just reduce the time from fucked up to dead, which is what we do now. So we've had increases in life expectancy, but we've had no increase in lifespan. Lifespan is still max 122. Life expectancy has gone higher, But we haven't moved that 122 a fucking inch. So we're just compressing morbidity. It sucks. What we need to do is engineering that can move that 122, regenerative medicine, longevity escape velocity, where we can cure a year of aging every year. That's what we need to do. And in order to do that, we can't keep working on this geriatrics bullshit where we wait until you're wrecked and then try and help you with your wreckness. We just need to make you not wrecked to start with. So we're just shifting the focus of the medical interventions to a phase before the problems show up instead of after the problems show up, for the most part. So like senolytics is kind of great, but it does to some degree wait until you're fucked up a little bit, but it's